Hi everyone! Today we're going to be making Oriental style chicken spring rolls. I really need you to hear what I'm saying. We're going to use boneless chicken. I'm using chicken thigh just because I find that it doesn't dry out too quickly. If you are using chicken breast, it just has a more drier texture to it. So we're going to start off by prepping. So my chicken is already cut into small cubes, okay? So I have got chicken thigh like I mentioned earlier. So the first thing we're going to do is cut our vegetables. So I've got some carrots here. So I've got 2 medium-sized carrots, okay? If you've got smaller ones, you could probably use 3. If you've got bigger ones, then maybe only use 1. But we'll start off by peeling our carrots, okay? So I've got a peeler here. You can use your knife to peel your carrots if you want to. I just find it easier with a peeler. So get rid of the skin of the carrots. And we're going to julienne all the vegetables. And julienne basically means we're going to cut it into strips, which is a fancy way of, I think it's French. Then you want to chop the head off and chop the tail off, okay? So get rid of the top and bottom because we don't need those. Want them roughly about 1.5 inch pieces of carrots in terms of length. Okay, so just chop your carrots into pieces where they're like roughly about 1.5 inch long. And then you want to go ahead and then cut that into strips again. So they need to be quite thin, a couple of centimeters. Just watch your fingers. So once you've cut them this way, then you want to go ahead and then just cut them into thin strips like so. So that's our carrots prepped, okay, into nice thin strips. Put them into a plate over here. So they're just going into a plate on one side. Right, so we're going to move on to our peppers, and again we're going to julienne them. So I'm just going to pop the middle part, okay, and then I'm going to cut my pepper in half. Just remove that middle part that has the seeds in. We don't want pepper plants growing in our tummies. I'm joking, they don't grow in your tummy. And then just remove a bit of the white flesh from inside. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut the top off and the bottom off, and that just helps me rest my pepper flat, okay, like this. So I've cut the top bit and the bottom bit off the curved bit, and that will help me push my pepper flat. So then that way I can just literally go ahead with my knife and just chop down, and that will help me julienne it into thin strips without having to struggle to cut it because it's flat on the chopping board as well, and you won't risk losing your fingers as well, and just makes it a lot quicker to do. And you can also do the same thing with the top and the bottom that you cut off. Don't waste it, use it as well. You just want to cut them into strips, okay? So in no time you have your pepper cut like that. And we're going to do the same thing with our green pepper as well, okay guys? So let's move on to the spring onions. So you can put as many or as little spring onions as you like. I'm going to go with like 4 because I like the taste of them in mine. So go ahead and peel the top layer off your spring onion. And again, we're going to julienne these just like we did with the peppers and the carrots, okay? Okay, go ahead and cut off the roots as well. Get rid of those. Don't want to be eating spring onion roots. Okay, so we're going to use the whole of the spring onion as much as we can. Don't waste anything. The green is as good as the white. It has a lot of flavour in there. A lot of people just throw this part away, and I don't understand why. Like, the whole spring onion has a lot of flavour. So just use all of it, okay? So again, we're going to cut it into strips. So I'll show you how. So basically, cut it into the length that you want your spring onion strips at. Okay, most of the spring onion will go in. Just right at the end, the bits that are a little bit too dry or look a bit brown, you can just get rid of those, but keep a majority of your spring onion, okay? But again, you want the pieces to be about 1.5 inch long, roughly. Cut them in half, okay? Once you cut them in half, you lay them flat against your chopping board, and then again, you just slice downwards to julienne them, just like so, okay? So just cut all your spring rolls like that into long strips. We've got all our vegetables prepped, spring onions, okay? So everything looks very pretty on the plate. We've got some carrots, we've got some peppers, and we've got some spring onions. Okay, moving on to the garlic. You can do it in a blender. It will be a lot faster in a blender if you want to use that. So you basically just want to peel your garlic, get rid of the skin. I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves, 6, 7 cloves. There's a couple of mine are a bit small, so I wanted a decent amount of garlic in there. So I've got quite a bit. So just up to you. You want a nice amount of garlic in there. You want that garlic flavour to come through. So put as little or as much as you want, but I do recommend putting at least 4 to 5 cloves in. So just peeling the garlic, and I'm going to I'm going to dice it into tiny little pieces. Again, you can just bung it into a blender and then it'll blitz it for you. There we go. So that's the garlic done. So once it's kind of chopped up, I'm just going to cut it a little bit finer. Perfect. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to move you over to the wok now so we can get started with the cooking. We're going to put the heat on. Just put it onto a high heat. Okay. So my flame's on a high heat. Okay. We're going to go in with about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. Not too much. Heat up for a few seconds. Once your oil has heated up, you want to go in with your garlic. All your minced garlic goes in. Now you want to get something that can help you mix it so it doesn't burn in one place. So we're just going to cook this literally for a few seconds just to get the garlic going and the oil flavoured up with the garlic a little bit. Okay, obviously it's cut really small, so it will burn really quickly if you don't watch it or if you don't mix it. So just want to basically cook it for a few seconds until it just begins to change colour, and then we're going to go in with our chicken. Okay, we don't want our garlic to burn. Now, time to add the chicken. Can you see the garlic has started to change colour? So the chicken goes in, and you want to cook the chicken a little bit. So the chicken will release the water and it will prevent the garlic from burning. And now we can go in with some seasoning. Coarsely grinded black pepper. In with a full teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper. We're just going to continue to stir fry that until the chicken changes colour, okay? Once it's changed colour, we're going to go in with our vinegar and the soy sauce, okay? 2 tablespoons of vinegar at this point, and then we're going to add some more once we've added our vegetables in, okay? So white vinegar, 2 tablespoons. So I've got dark soy sauce. You could use light as well if you want to. The dark just gives the chicken a nice colour. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. We're also going to add in our chilli flakes, okay? Chilli flakes, I'm going in half a teaspoon. You can add more or less depending on how you like it. Right, now at this point we can go in with our vegetables, guys. We're going to start off with the carrots because they take the longest to cook. So carrots go in. Cook your carrots until they begin to soften. And all this time the heat is on a high, okay? Right, at this point we can go ahead and add our peppers in. So we're going in with our green and red pepper. Once you've added your peppers in, you can go ahead and add some more soy sauce and vinegar. So we're going to go in with another 2 tablespoons of each. So 2 tablespoons of vinegar again. Also 2 more tablespoons of soy sauce. So that's 4 in total. So basically just sauteing it now until the water's dried out, okay? And then we're going to go in with the last thing, which is the chicken stock cube and flour. So while we're waiting for this to saute, let's prepare that, okay? So get yourself a small bowl, yourself your chicken stock cube, crumble it in. Okay, so that's your chicken stock cube. Your crumbled chicken stock cube, add a tablespoon of plain flour and mix it together. We're going to add this in at the end, okay, towards the end, not yet. Okay, so now at this point, majority of the water is dried, if you can see. We're going to go ahead and add in our chicken stock cube of flour. Mix that in. At this point you want to taste for seasoning. If you feel like it needs salt, then add some, or if you need some more chilli, go ahead and add some. Taste a bit of the chicken. So that's perfect. The seasoning in mine is absolutely perfect. And that is pretty much done, guys. Look, there's no water left. You can just see a little bit of oil at the bottom of the pan. that is ready. So turn the heat off and then add your spring onions in and just mix those in, okay? So I didn't need to add any salt into mine, but obviously salt is a preference of everybody. If you like yours a bit more salty, go ahead and add some. If you like it a bit more spicy, go ahead and add some more chilli. Obviously that's to everyone's personal preference. So mix in your spring onions as well. Just make sure they're evenly distributed in the whole thing. Our filling is ready, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some out into a separate plate just so that it cools down, because obviously you want your filling to be cool before you fill it into your spring rolls. Okay, you want to cool it down. There we go, a couple of spring rolls worth of filling. Okay, and I'm just going to put that to the side just to cool, so that when we're filling our spring rolls it cools faster. Okay, so now to make a paste to basically seal our spring rolls when we actually fold them and roll them up. You make a paste with flour and water. Some people use egg, some people use just plain water as well. This is just the way I've just done it always. So just a couple of tablespoons of flour. So there you go, you just basically mix it into like a paste basically, and that is going to help us seal our spring rolls. Okay, I have this spring roll pastry in the freezer section. What you want to do is let them defrost, okay, in the fridge or out, however you want to do it. I left mine in the fridge overnight. You can also leave them out on your worktop for a couple of hours and they should defrost pretty well. Once you open the packet, you have to make sure you keep them covered with a damp tea towel. If you don't keep them covered with a damp tea towel, then they tend to dry out. So if you're planning on filling loads of spring rolls in one go, then I advise you to just get a clean tea towel, dampen it, and then cover your spring roll pastry with a damp tea towel. Okay, so when you start filling your spring roll, so you start off by peeling one of the sheets off. So they come in like a pack like this, and you peel each sheet off to get your spring roll. So just carefully peel it back. You should be able to see where the sheet stops and finishes. So you want to slowly peel the sheet off. They are quite thin, so just be very gentle with them. They will peel off easily, but just be gentle. They're quite stretchy as well. So you're left with one filo pastry sheet just like that. Okay, what you need to do is lay it diagonally with a point facing you and a point facing away from you, like a diamond. So lay it flat like that. Okay, so then you want to get your filling, your chicken filling that you made before, and you put about a tablespoon, like a heaped tablespoon worth of filling, depending on how much filling you like in yours. Just basically lay it out so that, squish it so that it kind of makes like a roll shape. Okay, so it's long ways like this. So get your corner, okay, and you want to roll that over your filling just like that. Okay, pack it tight, right? And then you basically just want to roll it over once so your filling is in there. And then my filling is still a little bit warm. Okay, so you want to make sure that yours is completely cool. You'll see what I mean, because it's going to go really greasy and horrible because it's still a bit warm. Okay, so then you fold one side over, so either your right side or your left side. Fold it over to the middle. Okay, and then also your other side, fold it over to the middle again, right? And just make sure it's nice and tightly packed. And then again, you just use your fingers and roll it over a few times now to get your spring roll shape. Then you add some glue that we made, you know, the paste that we made with the flour and water. Add that at the end, into your final corner, and then just roll it over like this, and then you're left with a spring roll like that. So that is how you fill all your spring rolls. Once you fill them up, you can freeze them like that while the pastry is raw. Absolutely, you can do that. They're great to keep in the freezer. Right, so oil is hot, I think. It looks like it's bubbling, so I'm going to go in with the spring rolls, okay? And if you freeze them, guys, then just make sure you defrost them before you stick them in the oil. So kind of move them around in the oil so they get an even fry. Okay, so these look done. Can you see they change colour, nice and golden? So I'm going to take that out now onto a plate that's got some kitchen paper on there just to drain the excess oil. This is what they look like once they are fried. Okay, sweet chili goes really well with these. Okay, that's the filling inside. And take care of yourselves, take care of your families, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Enjoy your spring rolls.